I decided to let y'all walk with us today, and let's talk about self-confidence, because I believe a lot of young women out here lack it because of people's opinions. People out here, they'll tell you all kind of stuff about yourself just to bring you down, just so they'll be higher up. But honestly, it's not about that. It's about what you think of yourself, and everybody's beautiful. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody is beautiful. It don't matter what you look like, how much you weigh, your skin color, none of that matters. Everybody's beautiful. God made everybody, and God made everybody the same. So you judge somebody based on their looks, but really none of that matters. None of that matters in the end. As long as you do you, you be the best you can be, and can't nobody bring you down. 'Cause I know back in the day when I went to school, hold on, garbage truck. I know back in the day when I went to school, maybe I wasn't the prettiest, maybe I wasn't the skinniest at the time, maybe I wasn't all that. So I went through people telling me how they felt about me and how I looked and all this stuff, but they don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what somebody's going through. So before you talk about somebody, make sure you know what they're going through. Because you could talk about them again, they could be going through the worst day of their life. The day I lost my grandma was like a mama to me. I lost my grandma in 2016. She lived with us. And the day I lost her, people treated me like I was dirt, like I wasn't worth nothing. But they don't know that behind closed doors, I felt like I was dying on the inside. I felt like I couldn't go nowhere because I just lost everything I just had. And then they tell you you're not supposed to question God. But at the time I was younger, and I was like, if you ain't supposed to question God, why is God doing this to me? Why is God taking away my grandma? Why is God taking this away from me? But it's not even like that. It's not about that. God's not taking nothing from you like that. Everything God does for a reason. God gives his toughest battles to the strongest soldiers, and I believe that 100%. I've been through a lot, honestly. Let's see. Back in, I think it was 2014, my dad had a really bad heart attack. They woke me up from my sleep, and they told me to put my clothes on because we had to go to the hospital. I was young. I didn't know why. But I knew my daddy didn't look okay. So all I did was I talked to my dad. I talked to my dad the whole way to the hospital. And they said if I wouldn't have talked to my dad the whole way, my dad would have died. My dad would have died if he would have stopped responding to any of us. And I'll get back with y'all after I get out of the store. Back to what I was saying, I went in the store. I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff, and I really don't talk to nobody about what I've been through. I hold everything inside, because I feel like you talk to them about, and then they just gonna think you want sympathy or you want something like that, and it's none of that this way. I don't want none of that. Don't feel sorry for me. Life happens. People die. You see, back then I wasn't really prepared for death, none of that. I knew what it was, and it's so crazy because all my years I never thought my grandma would die. I never pictured that at all. I never pictured that. I could picture my aunts and uncles dying before I pictured my grandma and grandpa, because they was like parents to me. You know, it's this thing. And then let's see, 2018 rolled around, and I get a call saying, hey, come down here like ASAP, it's your grandpa. I said, no. And then I drove down there going about 100 the whole drive down there. Mind you, I had a Jeep. And I'm going 100, no Explorer, no, it's a Jeep. And I'm going 100 down there, all the way down there. And I get there. And I go inside and I see my grandpa laying lifeless on that bed. I haven't seen my whole family there. And my grandpa, he grabs my hand. He can't talk. He can't talk to me. But I can see in his eyes, I used to think he was scared. My grandpa was a preacher. My grandpa was not scared. My grandpa saw my grandma. And I believe that to the fullest with all my heart. My grandpa grabbed my hand. He squeezed my hand to let me know everything's gonna be okay. And then my grandpa took his last breath. And then when he, I guess, was fully dead, and the fact that you know he's dead is the worst feeling of your life. Because then I knew, who else, did I have? He's the reason my mama was strong. My grandma was the reason he was strong. And my grandpa went a long ways without my grandma. And this is, like I say, people don't know the story behind you. Before I had my son, we used to live in these same apartments, but we lived up there kind of on a hill up there. We lived with my cousin and them, and I found out I was pregnant. I was so happy to be pregnant. I felt like maybe stuff was looking up for me. And then I went to the doctor, and they called me back that day and they told me my progesterone level was dropping. They put me on these pills. This is Florence, OBGYN. And if I could sue them, I sue them to this day. They gave me these pills and they said this was gonna help boost my progesterone level. So I took the pills, and come to find out, they had gave me the wrong pills, and it caused me to start bleeding really heavy. And then after all the blood, just the fact of going through that pain and knowing that you're losing everything you have, I think. Because I knew I was going through a miscarriage, but I didn't want to believe it because a miscarriage is the most scariest thing you can go through. So I went through that and I got through that. But I'm getting back home, so we'll get off this topic and get back on something else.